And that's it. 600 of these. 13 years. Lots of craziness. Lots of comics. Joe says we're going to talk about every comic ever printed. Well, now I've got a hard drive from Guadalajara that has most enormous numbers of public domain comics. Am I going to have time to read them? Probably not. Am I going to try? You bet your ass. Believe it or not, kids, you've listened to us blather on about funny books and Hogan's Heroes for an hour and a half. And as we say every week, the comic we like the least, we still like better than the comic that you like the most. Hit my music.
No, we were talking the Picard series, which I've been watching because I've enjoyed the hell out of it, even the first couple ones.
I liked it too. I had some problems with the first season because I thought, they've got this really cool thing set up, and then they didn't do it. It's like,
what was it?
I might as well do the spoiler. The Borg cube crashes on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
And then they don't use it.
No, they never really... Yeah, they didn't close that season very well. And like most Star Trek, they bring back people just to kill them. Which is disappointing, but, again, it's fan service. And it's kind of... Sometimes I have to, who is that? Oh no, it was poor, what was his name?
Hugh the Borg.
Not Hugh, but there was a younger one that was on Voyager.
Oh, yeah.
That got basically carved up, and Seven basically dropped, literally, the person who did it. So, yeah, I've been seeing things online about Jonathan Frakes talks, this leads into Star Trek Legacy. I was like, I don't want to know, just in case. He might give away something I don't want to know. And what I did with the last episode is I was deciding, do I want to watch it at midnight when it drops? But I was really tired, and I don't want to get revved up and be up all night like, what was that? So I got up at 8 and watched it, because usually I don't get up till 9 unless I know I got a lot of eBay stuff to ship. So this week, same thing. I'm going to just get up, watch it. And then, of course, I'm waiting for Trek Culture, because then they get on there and they talk about their ups and downs and the whole, especially as you get later on, just the Easter eggs are dropping left and right. And it was actually on later because there were so many.
Oh, yeah.
And it took them a long, it's like you doing the previous episode, it's like, I'm waiting. Because what kills me is when, the ones... episodes, what are we on, 10? 9 I got up for. So 7 and 8, I didn't watch 7. And then I started hearing spoilers about it. Shit. It's like, because, they start the headline, boy, can you believe Kirk died in the last movie? It's like, really? Does that have to be the headline? So, I was able to watch 7 and 8 in a row.
Can you believe Kirk died in Star Trek Picard?
It was just, and I'm seeing that now in Star Trek Mandalorian, because I haven't watched any of Mandalorian, and usually I do, but I thought, just one at a time. And now people are like, I can't believe, do you have to start the headline like that? So.
I'm so far behind, I'm in the middle of the first season of Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, we just finished that, and we stopped. We haven't done the second season yet, because we basically, one a day, and then we would talk about it. What do you think's funny? You think this is good? And it was like, it was fun.
It is fun.
And then, of course...
And Sting is so fun in his episode. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
He rocked that. That was so cool. Because we were like, there's no way Sting's a murderer. I mean, it'd be funny if it was, but we're only on episode 3 or 4 or something. So...
it's pretty well constructed. There's a lot of cringy humor.
Oh, yeah.
Cringy humor is okay from time to time, but man, that episode with Steve Martin blowing the date.
Oh.
That one was hard to watch.
So what was in the box?
Oh, we haven't opened it yet. That's after we eat.
That's half the fun, right?
I know.
Well, there's a box.
We should.
What's in the box? Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Well, what I should mention is we're at Denny's, because it was the only place Cory is allowed anymore since the incident. Anyways,
They let me eat at the Target food court, but I wanted to go classy.
I thought we could get away with getting in the Mall of America because that's usually
No.
they don't look for you. There's a Denny's across from it. But anyways,
But I'd rather go to the IHOP if I had to drive that far.
yeah, I thought Anyways, at the MCBF's con, Eric from Mind's Eye gave us 2 mystery boxes. And he said, open these up on the air, one for Cory. And I was like, well, I remember when our good pal David Watkins sent you a snack box you didn't share. But it was for the podcast, so I brought them both.
Yes.
So that's what the box is we'll be talking about and dealing with after we eat.
Oh, we're doing it after we eat.
I thought so.
Okay.
So,
We don't want to get syrup on whatever's in there.
no,
Oh, okay.
not even on the box.
Mm.
It's a nice box, too. I mean, I could use these for shipping. So, but I talked with Gruber. He's all ready for the MCBA's show, and I'll be bringing some stuff as well. What's funny is, and I think I mentioned it on the last podcast, as I'm putting stuff back, people are buying things. It's like,
Yeah.
and I actually sold the Something is Killing the Children set 1 through 20,
Oh,
which was nice.
so now you have enough money to buy a car.
No, actually, I sold it for about half of what it was worth. Because the number 1 alone is like a $500 book.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to Gruber, it's because, well, when people bought it, nobody was paying attention.
Yeah.
And then it was optioned, and it's a damn good story. But I hope the guy who bought it likes it. He said he was buying it for his wife.
No.
So, and I'm always worried when I sell a high buck item. It's like, am I gonna get screwed? Is he gonna like say I want to return it and then return a pair of dirty socks? Like, dude, they could have at least washed them.
Well, you don't know whose DNA is on the socks. Could be that DNA
There
is
is.
worth a lot.
There is that. Somebody asked me a wrestling question I was going to ask you, and of course my brain frazzled. I can't remember. Although a guy at work talk wrestling a lot. He said he heard that the group that's buying WWE and merging insisted that Triple H stay in charge of booking or creative.
Yeah, what
And
it is,
I'm always like, I come to you because I know you're more in tune with this.
they want Vince in charge of the company
Yeah.
because the guy who owns Endeavor, he's known Vince for 20-some years.
Ah.
But they kind of said, we want you to keep your team in place. So it wasn't you must keep Triple H. It was more, keep your team in place because ticket sales are going up, merch sales are going up, etc., etc. And they are already starting to wheel and deal. They are working, it leaked out that they're doing negotiations with ESPN for something new. Not SmackDown, not Raw, not the pay-per-views, something new.
Well, this guy, I think he reads the negative dirt sheets because he was of the opinion that a lot of the guys whose contracts were coming up, there's a lot of backstage disgruntledness because some Vince is in the gorilla position doing his Vince stuff.
Yeah, but he was only there that one episode of Raw.
So they're
And-
kind of like, well, if Triple H is in charge, maybe we will hang around. You know, people like Drew McIntyre, and he named a few other names, but
Well, I know Drew is out right now, and they say that he doesn't have a contract, and the contract negotiations aren't going well. But the thing is, with Triple H, you never know if he's leaking that to be part of a story or not.
yeah,
Because he knows how to play the reporters. He's always been like that. And wrestling reporting, I complain a lot about comic reporting because it's terrible.
yeah.
Wrestling reporting is as bad, if not worse, in that there are some people who have websites and stuff who almost have an agenda that they want to push. So they will report part of a story. They don't do retractions, etc., etc. One of the reasons why I subscribed to PW Insider, and before that, One Wrestling, if they got something wrong, they tell you. We got it
was
wrong.
something too. I remember that, and I don't remember the story because it's not important. I just remember they said, "Hey, we got this wrong," and I thought, "Wow, that's kind of cool." And when I was actually watching wrestling, I would subscribe to the the elite.
Yeah.
Right now, that's the number one problem I have. I don't have access to wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't have any cable. I don't have Peacock. I can't watch it.
About the only thing you could watch is SmackDown on Friday nights.
Yeah. Oh, incoming.
Well, that was quick. I like it that way.
I told them you guys were really, really hungry
Oh,
and to work really, really fast.
it must have looked like it.
So I put a little extra butter because the third cake might require it. Does not have something
Okay.
Oh, wow, this
enough.
looks awesome.
I'll be back in a minute to check on pancake situation and more diets.
Cool, thank you.
And can I get regular syrup instead of the sugar-free?
You wuss.
They don't like.
Actually, I do regular syrup too.
I don't like sugar-free syrup. It has a
I don't
weird
either.
metallic
I
taste.
didn't even mean to bring that. I meant to bring this. Sorry.
Fell down a YouTube hole, and it was one of these things where it was, here's, grindhouse trailers from the 60s and 70s, and I watched it, and it wasn't really. It was mainstream films. They were, not the ones people know, but they weren't exactly super obscure.
Is it new?
I think it is. Yes,
For those of you listening, Cory's having trouble with his ketchup.
because it was
Brand new?
brand new. And the thing is, if you watch one of those, mostly they're like 2 hours long, and if you watch something on YouTube, they give you more of it. So in my, here you go, here's some stuff to watch. There's like 20 compilations. It's like,
Yeah.
The good thing is, I had my notebook with me, so if I saw a movie, I would go, I want to see that.
Yeah, write her down. I've been catching a lot of, I talked about that history, worth remembering podcasts. Well, whatever you call it, YouTube video, I guess. And I've really been getting into that. Trek culture, the in between the ups and downs. They have a gorgeous woman doing like top 10 things you didn't know about.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. Oh, what's her name? Ellie. Oh, love her. But I'm sure she gets a lot of that. I mean, just a woman that talks geek,
And
Lot
it's
of
funny how
wrestling.
there are people who fall down the rabbit hole into political, gets weirder and weirder and weirder. Mine is like, cooking, wrestling, comics, obscure movies,
You'll be shocked with
science.
There's a guy goes under the
Everything
name.
okay?
Oh, excellent.
And so I'll reorder and pancakes in about 10 minutes.
Okay,
They'll come by 2 next time.
okay.
There's a guy named Jawtooth down south that catches rail videos. And I'm like inspired. You just go to a train and see what kind of cool videos you can catch. And I've also in the past watched hour-long videos as I sit where guys go to abandoned railways and they built a motorized cart, and usually it's out in the desert southwest. Although somebody did the Ford plant locally and they just ride these rails.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. There's a couple guys down and they like follow this rail line that used to go to Mexico and now it's cut off at the border because nobody uses it. At the border is an actual tunnel. You can, from I think the Mexican side, go all the way to the US side and then it's all graded off. Like bars and whatever. I just sit and watch that. And when it's really, really busy and I got to pay attention what's going on, especially when I'm doing the monitors, I just throw up one of the mix lists, videos I've watched over and over and over. On the way to work, I'll catch like WDGY and like, here's a song I haven't heard in ages, but I forget to look up the video. And then I see a video like the Pretty Woman video, Van Halen, and I'm like, okay, they were on something because the music is awesome, but the video's like, what?
Yeah.
I did start watching the DuckTales. David Tennant, the voice of Uncle Scrooge, and it was kind of fun. But the premise is that Scrooge is kind of a recluse, and he's suddenly forced to watch after Huey, Dewey, and Louie. He has a housekeeper who could probably bench a Greyhound bus, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie are very taken aback because I think it's her daughter, voiced by Garfunkel and Oates.
Kate McCucci.
Yes, thank you. And it was weird because I didn't know she had done the voice. I knew David Tennant did the voice, but I'm listening, then I finally caught the credits. I'm like, oh my gosh. But she's crazy. I mean, because she's been a recluse, and then all of a sudden she's got a bunch of guys she can go hang out and have adventures with. And while Huey, Dewey, and Louie might be like, yeah, we better be cautious, she's like, no, let's go. What got me going was when there's misunderstanding because Scrooge is a curmudgeon, and eventually they get him out of his, hey, let's go, let's not stop being a recluse, let's go out and explore. As you're going through Scrooge's trophy room, for better example, they see a painting, and as they're looking at the painting, they uncover it, and one of the sons looks at it and goes, Mom? And I think it's the first canonical comment of Huey, Dewey, and Louie's mom. That would be Donald's sister.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so they're kind of, I think as you watch it, and it's all on YouTube, so they'll actually refer to, that's part of the mystery, like what happened to their mom.
Yeah, because all the Disney kids, it's not that the main Disney characters are their parents, they're uncles.
Yeah. Or their mom. Disney didn't like moms.
That's why Bambi's mom was killed.
Oh, I'm doing something wrong. I don't want to come out. There it goes. Sometimes I'll get bored and I say, yeah, let's see every single Power Ranger Transformer for the Megazords. And then I'll find like, oh, here's the full song of Go, Go, Power Rangers. I'm like, cool. And occasionally a friend will send me videos of like baby metal, and I go, okay, that's fun.
Well, because they've got a new album out.
I wouldn't know an old from a new album.
Their new album is really different.
All I know is I get tired watching them dance. I'm old. How does any one person have that much energy?
Well, and they're coming through for concerts, and it was like, oh yeah, I didn't get to see them because I wasn't a fan yet when they played The Myth.
Oh,
so
that's close to my house.
They're coming through with Death Clock, the band from Metal Apocalypse on Adult Swim. So it's like, oh, cool. And then the cheapest ticket's like $140. And you have to get it through Ticketmaster, so you know it's going to be another $50. And it's like, yeah, no.
I think I paid that to go see Paul McCartney at Target Center. From Target Stadium, I should say. It was an outdoor concert.
The most I ever paid was $75 to see Rush on their final tour.
Chris and I tried to get, we had tickets to go see Billy Joel and Elton John. And I ended up being deployed for one of the first times, so I didn't get to do that.
Being deported.
No, deployed. I came back the very next day. And then we tried to get tickets to Bruce Springsteen, and that was a debacle because of the whole, what the hell did they call it? It's like tickets kept going up in price.
Oh, yeah.
And we checked out Billy Joel, Stevie Nicks, and it was like $1,000, and we weren't even on the main floor, and we're like, no, thanks. So we're kind of of the attitude, we're not going to go see anybody. We have the money to, we just don't want to spend it. I think that the top tier was, for me, was when Chris, Dana, Holly, and I went to go see Joan Jett and Heart.
Oh.
We were on the main floor, but like in the back row. And I was like, okay, that was fun. But no reason to do that again.
I think the thing that annoys me the most is the tickets weren't even on sale yet, and they were already on Ticketmaster's, the scalper site. Mm-hmm. So it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, homie, don't play that game.
But when I go see a smaller band, like the Dolly Rocks or the Reverend Horton Heat, nope, $20. Mm-hmm. I'll stick with those bands. They need my money more anyway. So comic-wise,
Chris and her friend did see Elton John's final tour as he came through the Twin Cities. And then when I watched that on Disney, oh, is that amazing. Did you see Brian Hibbs dropped big article on his Facebook page?
yes.
I'll have to, that will be an upcoming podcast. The gist of it, for those of you, I don't think it's on tilting and windmills yet. His whole thing is like, if you're not expanding the market, you're not doing anything helpful, you know.
Yeah.
Although he had a couple comments that I'd make out, you know, where he's, I think he's more, you'll have to read it. My taking was like he's saying that graphic novels aren't doing what floppies should be doing. And I'm like, the graphic novels seem to be, or what constantly are selling. Mm-hmm. Other than comic-wise, I was actually thinking, I left where I was at 4, and my attitude was to go hit a comic store. And then I was like, I'm so wishy-washy. I get all that. Let's go hit a comic store. I don't want to spend the money.
Besides, free comic book day is like, what, 3 weeks away?
Yeah.
Debut?
Yeah, so I'll be blowing money there. And now that I sold something on eBay, yay!
So what is the plan for this year's free comic book day? Like last year, we go to St. Cloud first?
Yep. Ali Garzera, his wife, has a booth at one of the boutiques up there. So I thought we'd go early. Try to hit the bookstore, hit Granite City. And I was talking to Kelly. I said, yeah, we're going to hit that first. I invited him, but I think he's working the source. I said, we're going to come back into town, and if you're at the source, go for pizza.
We're not going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy?
If anybody wants to.
Well, I do.
Yeah, but let's see what we can do. If it's there at Granite City, or Granite City, St. Cloud, we can stay there. Otherwise, we can stop at St. Joe's like we did on the way back.
We'll have to hammer something on Butch's door.
Yep. I did mention it to Gru. I don't know if he's game.
And you said Turbo was coming this year, right?
I believe so. I'll actually see him. We've actually been kind of, when life doesn't interfere, kind of get together on Wednesday. We meet at the source, poke through their stuff. I'll have to hammer him and say, hey, we're waiting for the manga reports. And then,
she gave me 3.
Chicago.
Remember how she said it was just going to be 2? No, it's 3.
Yeah, you look hungry.
I'm not that hungry. It's not like when I go to the bar. Yeah, bring me 3 gimlets every 30 minutes.
Till one of us passes out. Then 1 every 10. A couple of weeks ago, there was on the Jason show, they have one of the local, she's not really a cook, but she knows how to cook. Her Stephanie Hansen was doing things on grilled cheese sandwiches, and I was like, oh, it was killing me because you can almost, she can describe it very textury, so you can almost taste it when she describes it. But it had to do with caramelized onions and different cheeses, and she coats everything on with mayonnaise for the fry, to get the fry factor, which is something that I hated because Chris would bring back fried cheese or grilled cheese sandwiches from other places. They didn't grill the bread. It's like, it's melted cheese, but it's like bread. And then she puts the butter on the side, not in the pan, and just cooks better.
I have told you my secret to a grilled cheese sandwich, right? Waffle iron.
Ooh.
Make them in a waffle iron. So much better that way.
Comic-wise, I read, I finished the John Byrne omnibuses. you know, and it was like Gunn just kind of petered out at the end. Mm-hmm. They did at least finish the story, which was nice.
I think Roger Stern
he jumped
and
in.
Jerry Ordway finished it, right?
Yeah. Although it was kind of like, meh. Not quite as exciting as his earlier stuff.
Yeah, I think it ran out of steam around the Stan Lee is publishing dirty pictures of She-Hulk.
Oh.
Because I still remember that, and it's like, why are you drawing it exactly like Stan Lee? It's kind of...
The Omnibus also, the second one had the Last Galactus story, which I know how he says he wanted to end, and I know how he wanted to put it together with Fantastic Four at the end. But...
And Marvel went to him for years saying, we'll pay for it.
You want more pancakes?
No, you snuck an extra one in here.
I better take that just in case he needs help.
Right, exactly. But I expect 2. He said, I'm like, is that mine? Because normally it's 2 for a reorder. 3 to start, 2 to follow and follow.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully that extra one will suit you and you'll be tidy till lunch tomorrow.
There you go.
Or till Wednesday.
But in the omnibus format, it was just fun to reread and watch. And then they added a lot of the promotional art. There was a what if story, and then a what the story. So that was kind of fun. And then I read Secret Wars, the first one, because so much of what I've been reading, you know, there's a definite break in the Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And what was kind of weird, what I remember on Secret Wars, I was real excited for it. I was excited because Crisis was coming out. But by the time Secret Wars ended, it was like a year later, and all the excitement we got, because it was like, again, for you kiddies at home, that basically everybody disappeared 1 month to go to Secret Wars, and Secret Wars 1 came out, and then they came back, and there were all these changes. You know, She-Hulk was with the Fantastic Four. Hulk had a broken leg. Spider-Man had a black costume that changed. There were probably some other... Thor, there was just an invention in him. And so we're like, oh my god, how did these changes happen? Well, we had to wait a whole year to find out. But by the time the year was up, who cared? Because the comic continued, and the year was like...
And they pretty much wiped away all the changes.
Yeah, the only one that stuck was... Well, Hulk was kind of getting crazier and crazier, and I think by issue 300, I think, wasn't that when he lost his brain?
Yeah.
Doctor Strange sent him to a dimension.
Yep. And that was the last issue of the Hulk I got till Peter David came back, because it's like, okay, so we're going to have an angry Hulk bouncing from place to place. Yeah, that's not going to be good.
It was maybe one episode I remember, it might have been in the annual, where he ends up going to a planet and he tries to eat fruit and it just like burns his mouth. And so he sits there and he's getting all happy because he sees another creature try to eat it, and the creature eats it. And Hulk enrages and attacks and ends up killing the thing, but he doesn't realize the symbiote taps into his back. And that's what allows... The symbiote explains to the Hulk, and the Hulk starts to get his intelligence back. And that explains why he's able to eat, because everything's toxic on the planet, but when the two life forms get together, the symbiote ends up giving his life up because he learns about Bruce Banner and selflessness and all this. And that's when Hulk realizes the symbiote, who he thought was his friend, died. It triggers the Doctor Strange thing. When Hulk's not happy with where he is, it puts him back on the crossroads so he can try again. And I think he stays there until the Alpha Flight Hulk crossover.
Yeah.
Which was a great way to end it. But yeah, it was not memorable. The other thing that was added in the Secret Wars Omnibus is a Thor crossover or tie-in that happened afterwards, where it kind of expands on the Enchantress and Thor talking and more of the fight that happened, because we didn't see much of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a She-Hulk issue that was really good that explains the whole, there was a suburb of Colorado that was just dropped here and nobody knew about because Spider-Woman just showed up and explained it in Titan. Where did Titana and I forget what Lava Woman called herself? Volcana, thank you. Which was really well done because I forget who wrote it. But it tied in just perfectly, which, again, you kind of get the feeling when they were writing Secret Wars, it was like, because of the toy line. They do a great job of explaining the toy line, too. They show all the toys, explain how fudgy they were, and kids didn't really play with them, and the fact that there were characters that weren't actually in Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And most of them were just the same sculpt, just a little different, which is really weird when you get to, like, Hobgoblin, because he had a whole new head, he had a glider, and he didn't appear in the... So, but yeah, it was, I mean, that in and of itself was fun to read. The story, it is what it is. I was 12 years old when I loved it, but Crisis was much better.
I recently found out, well, I don't know if this counts as finding out, but in the 70s, the Thing was the hot character. And then in the 80s, he cooled off. And most of the people at Marvel believed that it was Secret Wars that killed him off as a hot character because he was out of the Fantastic Four on Battleworld.
Yeah, he had his own series doing whatever.
Then when he came back, he also wasn't with the Fantastic Four. He was with a bunch of other big, strong,
the wrestling league.
Irritated characters. So he wasn't unique anymore. And then by the time that ended... it was 3 years later, Wolverine had become hot, and it was okay.
Yeah, and the other thing they did was Byrne, kind of took away the romance of Alicia and that.
Yeah.
But that was a Skrull, wasn't it?
Yeah, the one that married Johnny Storm was a Skrull.
But was it always a Skrull? I barely remember.
It was, Alicia became a Skrull whenever they needed her so that they could wipe out that story by Byrne.
Yeah, I know. It's just, but the question was, where was Alicia during all this time?
She was being held by the Skrulls in suspended animation.
Oh. Whatever. So is that the Skrull that beat the living shit out of... Or when Annihilus came out of the zone, they were out... The Fantastic Four in the negative zone, and Annihilus broke free and beat the living shit out of Alicia. Was that the Skrull or was that her?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and read the...
Yeah, because
when Tom DeFalco went in and changed it to...
Okay.
Nope, it was the Skrull.
Yeah. So...
Because we got to get the Thing popular again. And it never really worked.
No, because they made him big and bulky, and he was now in charge of the Fantastic Four. Yeah, it was kind of... It was different.
So
every so often I gotta stop and, like... I'm trying to think of where... Like something in the FF, like... What happened to this character? Like when there was the really hot brunette redhead, or brunette... That was Frankie's roommate. And then there was Sharon, the thinner, bespectacled blonde.
Yeah.
Who had an actual storyline in the annual where she got forced to drink Skrull milk or whatever. But I would stop and go, whatever happened to these characters? And go to fan Wikipedia, Marvel. Oh, they just kind of disappeared. Or this person appeared one more time in the background over here.
Mm-hmm.
So... That's all I read.
I read the Mr. Miracle hardcover again.
Oh. Kirby?
No, the one by Tom King and Mitch Gerard. And I had not read it in the hardcover. I read it when it came out individually.
Mm-hmm.
That is still such a great book.
I don't know if I have it.
The premise of the story is that Apocalypse and Well, Darkseid has found the anti-life equation. So they have gone to war. And Highfather is killed. So Orion has to take his place as the war between New Genesis and Apocalypse continues. And
Is this new 52 or before?
neither.
Doesn't matter with these
Yeah.
guys? Okay.
It's separate.
Okay. Because I read Evanier's stuff. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I've read King's stuff. This actually sounds intriguing. King's becoming one of those guys who I'm like, oh, he's writing it? I may have to investigate it.
Yeah, I read the first 6 issues of Danger Street.
I've got 2 and 3 waiting for me. No, 3 and 4. I read 1 and 2, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Because I remember, I had a run of first issue that I sold, so I know who the characters are, which helps. And if you don't know, just go to like Atomic Avenue and look at all the issues. You just need to know, like I can't think of the name of the kids, Darby kids,
The Dingbats at Danger Street.
Dingbats at Danger Street,
The Green Team.
Lady Cop, Orion, New Gods, Dr. Fate,
Warlord,
was in it.
and Manhunter 2070.
Yep. I mean, and I'm thinking as I'm reading this, I should have waited for the graphic novel, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's 12 issues, I'll wait. And I'm trying to stay read with it, because sometimes I'll wait to put something together and I'll forget about it.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Oh, I'm just having a blast. Who's narrating it?
Dr.
Dr.
Fate.
Fate. That's right.
No, Dr. Fate's helmet.
Oh. Same
There
difference.
isn't a Dr. Fate, it's his helmet.
Yeah. You guys gotta pay attention.
Got completely caught up on the Flash, read the end of the 1 Second War.
Is that worth it? I passed on the hardcover, but when it comes out in
As a paperback, yeah.
okay, that's because that to me is what a brilliant concept.
And the solution is not a cheat. I was very worried that the solution was going to be a cheat, but it wasn't. It's all set up. You just need to make sure that you read the 1 Second War one shot.
Okay, which hopefully is
That
included.
which
in
explains
a
who
trade.
these aliens are.
Okay. I'm finding them like world's finest. I got lost because I'm behind in. I think I'm caught up.
Oh, one more pancakes?
Oh, no more.
I mean, good for you.
I think 6 pancakes is enough.
More you'll pay up front, no hurry, okay?
Okay.
Cool. All right. Any other comic fun?
Those are the 2 main ones I've read. I did see that Marvel's doing a special one-shot in July that is just Fallen Friend. So, get your guesses in now for who's dying in Spider-Man. Because they haven't said somebody dies, but, it's got the cover that's a lot like the one where Gwen died, and they're reprinting the 2 issues where Gwen died. And although I have to admit, I've read why Peter and Mary Jane broke up, why Mary Jane's married with kids. I don't like it.
No, I don't either.
And I don't like it because it's cosmic bullshit, and Spider-Man should not be involved in cosmic bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just going to write Mary Jane out, fine.
And Mary Jane should not be involved in cosmic bullshit.
No, I kind of dig that her and Felicia, the Black Cat, are kind of like adventure buddies,
Yes.
which is kind of fun. But yeah, if you're just gonna let them be apart, because it's kind of shocking. Like, really, she's got kids? What the hell, is Norma Osborn strike again? Do we have to mopey this one?
That's the thing. It's one of those where, in order to fix it, you've got to do even more cosmic bullshit. And they have to fix it somewhere down the line. Because when you're done, you have to put the toys back in the box.
Oh yeah. Speaking of toys, did you read about Hickman's thing coming up?
Yes.
Oh, where he's going to go through Marvel Universe, and I'm like, again, I will be with you, Hickman, on the monthly issues, but it's going to be a fantastic omnibus trade, whatever it ends up being.
Mm-hmm.
Because even I read Avengers Beyond, and are you reading it or did you pass?
Not yet.
Okay, because I read that issue because I think the Beyonder is an interesting character, but I think they just played it up too much, like he's a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, to me, it's like, okay, first of all, we didn't know. I went to Wikipedia to figure out just where the hell did he go? And I guess he changed, he merged with a female, and that's how he got caught in the kiln and seemingly destroyed during the Annihilation Wave. But he obviously isn't, because he's back. But
they've given him like 3 different origins.
Yeah, well, they give him another one in the book.
Real good.
And it's also what I like. What I would have done is more, okay, fine. Somehow the Beyonders should be gone. They got wiped out in Secret Wars. He is the only one left of his race, and he was basically a kid, but I get tired, like the Illuminati had him back in one of their issues where he's out somewhere creating a counter-Earth, but he's acting like a kid still.
Yeah.
They kind of give a gravitas to him in Avengers Beyond, but it's kind of like the DC versus Marvel. Well, we know this is cosmic. We know this is cosmic. Oh, there's bigger cosmic. It's like everything's bigger.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, I don't want to say too much because I'll let you read it and see what you think about it. But not what I would have done with the character.
Well, and that's also a problem with superhero universes. You've always got to keep upping the ante.
Yeah. And I wonder if they're actually going to bring him. The rumor is they're going to bring him back as a baddie in the movie universe. And I'm like, well, how about if you deal with Doctor Doom and Galactus and Magneto? You got enough bad guys to get any, I don't know, perfect introduction to these guys. Or just go back to Uncanny X-Men 1 or Fantastic Four 1. There's a big creature running around, breaking through New York. All of a sudden, poof, there's a giant forest flare. What the hell does that mean? Or better yet, this guy's attacking Cape Canaveral nuke base, Well, who's going to stop him? To be my X-Men, You don't have to go beyond that. They will, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see Marvels, though.
Yeah, that one looks really fun.
I got to go back and watch Ms. Marvel. I mean, I don't think you'll need to, but I know had I watched Scarlet Witch, I probably would have gotten a little bit more out of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That's okay, I'm way behind. I'm in a bind.
We've got mystery boxes.
We do, and we're going to Facebook Live this.
Ooh.
So if you want to, I don't know if I can put it on, let's see if I can, I don't know if I can Facebook Live under Crazy Comics. Let's find out.
No, don't.
Do it under mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll get more viewers.
Yeah.
And for those of you who've watched it live, you can skip this part.
Yeah, skip this part.
Do I have to look awake?
Yes.
Damn it.
Duh! Oh my god, he's out of his natural element! Ladies and gentlemen, the rat bastard, Cory Stroke.
Hello, Kitsunes.
And
It's Joe!
Hey! So you're probably wondering why we're doing this. Well, that's not working.
No, that's... No.
No, let's see if I can flip this around. No, that's the light. Sorry. There we go, flip it around. There we go. Hey. I don't know, does that make us go sideways?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get both in there.
Okay, we can't do that. Okay, anyways, Eric from Mind's Eye, and that's backwards because I rotated it, gave us 2 mystery boxes. And he says, one for you, one for Cory. Now, years ago, Cory got a box from our old pal David Watkins of snacks and did not share them. So I thought was I should just take these home and not say anything.
Of course, Joe doesn't explain why I didn't share them. Because Joe was in Hawaii at the time.
Bah!
And I'm not going to send the snacks to Hawaii. Especially when you never know he's coming back.
There was that. Anyways, Eric gave us 2. And of course, these mystery boxes are available at Mind's Eye. And you can see how much fun they are because we're going to open them live. So, you ready? I'm going to let Cory pick one. Hang on a second, I'm going to flip this back. There. See?
Okay.
Mind's Eye. They're down in a very highly recommended shop down in Burnsville. So Cory gets to choose one.
Okay. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to take the wrapper from the straw and whatever one it lands on.
Cool. Oops, sorry.
This one.
I sneezed. That's the one I want.
Well, we can trade.
No trading. Okay. Step back when Cory has a knife.
And the knife, of course, does not open.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're at Denny's, so it's a butter knife.
Yeah, but still.
Stop goofing around, Hawaii. Nice flex. Hey, Phil.
I think there's a...
You didn't even get it.
No, I got part of it, but I think there's a cardboard thing there.
Oh, there probably is.
There.
There we go. Ta-da!
We got stickers.
Yay, stickers! I know the woman at the con who gave me these said they get a lot of stickers.
I don't know what any of these are.
Well, that's that.
Oh, they look like Scotty Young stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
fun.
And then comics.
Comics.
Okay, we got Blade Runner Origins, issue number 11.
Careful, your knife's got butter on it.
That's why it's over there.
Yeah. Joy Operations. Ooh, variant cover.
Radiant Red from Image.
Homage.
Catwoman, number 39.
Ooh. Icarus.
Wonder Girl.
Wow, I'm out of it. I don't know half these people.
Ooh.
Flashpoint, Batman Knight of Vengeance. Revisiting Thomas Wayne's origin story. That's Batman's dad for the review that aren't geeks.
And Flashpoint, because in Flashpoint,
Flashpoint.
Thomas Wayne survived.
Flashpoint. Where
It
Bruce
was-
Wayne died.
Bruce Wayne and Bruce and Martha were killed.
Spoilers! Ooh, 4.
Issue of
And that's
Thor.
Venom. Amazing Spider-Man with Hobgoblin. But which one? Just a flesh wound.
Wolverine Judgment Day.
Yeah, Wolverine's never happy. Ooh, and a bagged issue.
Bagged issue of
Gotham Knights, Gilded City. Is that a video game tie-in?
I don't know.
All right.
So there we go.
Okay, here, you do me. Hey, box. Box. I didn't have any problem. Stickers, yay. So, put them on the back of my car. All right,
I don't think they'll last too long.
let's see what I got.
You're losing the stickers.
I'm losing the box.
You're a mess.
I'm a mess.
You're
All right, what did I
can't
get?
take you
A
anywhere.
Radiant Black. Samurai Sonya.
Ooh.
What's that?
Homesick Pilots
I've
from
never
Image.
heard of that. I'll have to check that out. Magic.
Oh, so it was in the box.
Yeah, it was in the box. Wasn't
Cool.
good.
Are they comics?
Yeah. Was it and stickers?
Very
Wasn't Gwyneth
cool.
Paltrow's head, unfortunately.
Very cool.
Well, we got another Judgment Day comic.
Punisher War Journal.
There you go.
Namor, the Submariner, number 1. Ooh.
I like that miniseries.
Static from the Milestone. Titans United. Batman Detective Landmark 150th issue.
1000.
Oh, 1,000. Wow, am I off?
And you got a bag
a
book.
big variant from Fortnite Zero War.
There you go.
Yay! And if you want one, you get to go see what Denny's looks like. You can run down to Mind's Eye and pick one up. Tell them you saw those crazy guys from the podcast opening them live at Denny's. So, anyways, I'm going to run because Cory's got pie.
Pie's important.
I might just live feed the rest of my life because I don't know how to turn this thing off.
Oh, good.
Bye. Thank you.
We had 3 whole people watching.
I know. Funny. Never delete.
And you could tag me in it.
Yay! So that was fun.
Yeah.
I did not get a chance to ask her how much the retail boxes are. But,
Well, they're free, obviously.
well, for us, because we're privileged.
And weren't you going to have some Lady Death thing?
I did, but I too cowardly to bring them.
Ah,
I've got a mystery box, which sold out instantly, and I've got 2 envelopes, which if I can figure out how to steam them open, I will.
and if they're metal covers, just put them in the microwave.
Oh, that's a good microwave. If it blows up, I know it's a microwave. So,
Boom! Oh, those were the metal covers.
the metal covers.
Metal.
I gotta figure out something better with my wallet. Don't get arthritic, kids. It sucks.
We pay up there.
I thought we said we give it to her.
No, she said we pay up there.
Okay, that works for me. All right. Anything else in this wonderful 600th episode?
Not really. We've done it now for 13 years.
I know. What's wrong
We've
with us?
outlasted so many other podcasts, including ones that said they were going to bury us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's the thing. We got no skin in this game. We're just doing it because we're having fun.
Yeah.
So, all right. Freaking geeking?
I didn't bring my list.
Well, you just make something up. That's what I do.
Freaking, I ate too many pancakes.
Oh. It sounds like a you problem, to quote my daughter.
Yeah, that's what freaking is. Although there's a claw machine behind us that is just candy, so you always win.
Yay! I'm trying to find what am I freaking on? I don't know. Working weekends sucks because you miss out on a lot. Like there was that Uncanny X-Men experience at a brewery, and I think it was Chris Anderson from Minnesota Comic Exchange was there posting pictures, and it looked like it would have been fun. You know, and that's the type of stuff that you and I would have had fun going to, just like, hey, what's going on? But I work.
It was awfully expensive, if I remember
I
right.
don't remember. But I know this.
It's like, I don't want to pay that much to meet Chris Claremont.
I would maybe just to get an autograph, because I don't think I have any autograph comics from him. But I know.
Although Stephanie says he's very, very nice.
Yeah, but I remember meeting him at one of the shows. I think he was talking about Sovereign 7.
Oh,
He was fun to talk to. Like I said, I'll be working weekends for another 3 years, 9 months, 2 weeks. No days, 4 hours, 1 minute, and 20 seconds as of now. Not that I'm counting.
I'll be working weekends for the rest of my life.
The only problem, the big thing is I'll
Although
always be
my
working.
Saturday nights are about to get taken over. I
Uh-oh.
guess that's a freaking.
What's up in that?
Rumors are there's going to be a new AEW show on TNT Saturday nights, which, good for them. I was about to jump back into WWE, and then I realized it's like, okay, I already watch like 8 hours of wrestling a week. I don't have time to watch movies, TV, and I don't want to add more. It's okay, I like what I'm watching. It's enough. It's like with football. You know, you get the people who, well, I get the NFL Sunday ticket, so I have access to every game. No one's going to have time to watch every game.
Yeah, that's kind of.
And if you do, maybe you should get a job.
I've been going to the chiropractor to try to help deal with my dizziness, and while it's not helping, it's not hurting. It's helping loosen up the neck and stuff. But he was aghast that I was so far behind on Marvel stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I haven't watched Falcon. I haven't watched Scarlet Witch. I haven't watched Ms. Marvel. I never finished Moon Knight. I never caught Werewolf by Night. I haven't watched Thor. I haven't watched. Well, I would never watch the second Spider-Man. I did watch the one where all the Spider-Man came in. I haven't watched Black Panther. You know, I'm getting interested in it when I catch things up, like when I was watching Shang-Chi, Wang Chung, Baby Metal, and Eternals. I enjoyed them, but it just, I don't have that, oh my god, I can't wait. I hope it comes back. It could, you know, but okay, Geeking. What you geeking on?
I really, really like that Mr. Miracle by Tom King. I'm trying to think what else I'm really geeking on. I've been too busy to be really geeking on anything.
Well, I have a friend.
I do like the fact that at the group home we don't have to wear masks anymore.
Oh.
Just because it means the clients aren't trying to pull it off my face anymore.
Yeah.
Although, when I do go out to crowded areas, I still wear a mask. Because I haven't had a cold or the flu in 3 years. I like that. I like not being sick.
Nice.
It's nice not to be sick. And if there's one thing the pandemic taught me, is that people are festering bags of disease.
I am. I think I am. So I have a friend, and I do.
You do?
His name's David Dersch. I'm going to spell it. David Dersch. Doersch. Go to daviddersch.com because he just wrote a book, The Gathering Storm. The world of Hortus is a beautiful garden-like world shaped by the hands of 6 godlike figures, populated with flora, fauna, and people from ancient Earth. For centuries, peace and tranquility reigned, the land enchanted, protected, and overseen by 4 powerful Tors known as gates. The keys to the gates were lost, some say stolen, in the forgotten mists of antiquity, reducing the beneficial powers of the Tors and allowing the potential for evil and avarice to flourish. Avarice? Now, those sinister forces rise and threaten to capture and control the powers of the Tors, which can only be accessed at the moment of transference once every 500 years. So, he has written a book. I've known David since high school. He was the guy who enthralled me with his Dungeons and Dragons world. Amazing actor, although his big thing was he was in, he did the band, he actually previewed some of his music back when I was doing music. Celtic Thunder, I can't remember the name. Those are the cuties from the other, Ireland? I don't remember. But anyways, Dave is just phenomenal. He's written this book. You can get it either from daviddersch.com, look for Chronicles of Raven on Amazon, and I will be I've already ordered the book. I'll be picking it up and I'll review it once I read through it. But if it's anything like his Dungeons and Dragons session, David's got imagination to spare. So check it out. Send him a note, say, hey, that crazy Joe Wright recommended your book. It better be good. No, I'm kidding here. So, and of course, we have another friend who's working on a book, and whenever she finishes it, I expect an autographed copy, Evelyn. So, I'm impressed with that. I thought that was kind of neat. Other than that, I'm just looking forward to the next Comic-Con, looking forward to Free Comic Book Day.
Yay, Free Comic Book Day.
Yay, I like free comics. So
I like running around on Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe I'll have my tax return back by then.
We paid. We don't get a return.
I get a refund for the first time in years.
Nice.
Years. And it reminds me of when I was a kid, whenever Mom and Dad would get their, the tax return, they would take us out and we could get one thing. And the one I remember most was 1979 because that's when I get the Dungeons and Dragons basic set.
Oh, wow.
And first time we played, we had no idea what we were doing. And it eventually devolved into everybody wanting to, they were going down through this dungeon to get a gem. It's a huge gem. And both sides planned, the women and the men both planned to, when they got the gem, they would kill the others and take it.
It sounds like, what's that? I can't think of it. There used to be a board game we played like that. You work your way to the middle and you get there and then you could have a command.
Oh, Dungeon.
It could be. Because there were also a bunch of expansions packs. I just remember, I told this story because that's how I first ran into Bob. And he was so nice, and we kept buying the things from Travel. I don't remember. It's late. It's 8:05. I'm usually in sleep. Like I said, if I was at home doing this podcast, I wouldn't have my pants on. I would just be sitting there.
Thank God we're doing it in public.
Well, I can always, well, better not.
This is the one place they let us go.
Yeah, I don't want to get ruined by that.
600 of these, huh?
Yeah.
Well, more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, we weren't really counting.
I should actually one of these days go through again and see what TV shows we passed. I thought it was impressive when we passed Law and Order.
Yeah. Now we just need to can like 60 minutes and a few of them long running.
Oh,
soaps.
we'll never get 60 minutes.
Nah, not if they keep going.
You guys need more diets?
No,
I'm good, thanks.
but we will catch up with The Simpsons.
Yeah, they don't do it every week.
Right, they only do, I think the most they do now is 22 episodes a season. And we do 52 a year,
Yes.
if not more.
Yeah.
Because we also have the Festivus episode.
Well, and if I could ever get my my 3 days off again, I'd like to spin the previews off to its own episode because that's such a headache for you, anyways. Just
They're all a headache.
yeah, there is. So kudos to
You
Cory
and your
for doing-
ums and ers.
What?
That was the one thing I learned early on is how many verbal quirks I have. I've cut most of them out, but we still do the that.
Well, a lot of times it's because we're not really. We have an outline for what we're doing. It's behind the scenes, folks, kids.
We do?
Yeah, we sort of like, what do you want to talk about this time? Oh, I don't know. I got a mole on my butt. Okay, we'll talk about moles. Mole man.
I used to. For the first 3 years, I used to put a format together.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a waste of time.
Absolutely.
Utter waste of time.
Well, the other thing was we'd get to one topic, we'd run an hour, and then we'd never get back to the other ones. That's why he said, one of these days, I don't know if it was, somebody was like listening to the old episodes, and I was like, I'll give you a Joe prize for every, or maybe a mystery box, for every, like, we're going to get back to it and never did film, you know. And if I ever get the time, I'll go through my old college radio tapes and, you know, try to catch the music that I had never found again. Or the fun things we talked about. But I'd like to listen to the old episodes again. What I really want to do is two things. I'd like to take my big book, Overstreet book, and write off all the books that we've talked about.
Oh.
And say, hey, in the letter B, we haven't talked about this title yet.
Well, the way they're going through the Carlton stuff in Gondwanaland, if Ditko drew it, I'm going to be talking about it. Because I did do the lifetime subscription. And I think I've talked about it a few times. I got the first update.
Oh, yeah.
And now the guy who runs it, Lance Jones, says, by the way, if you've got one of the old drives and you want me to kind of reconfigure it so that it's in, you know, some sort of semblance of order and everything, just send it in and I'll do that. And it's like, oh, man. Because,
crazy.
well, the thing is, I looked at it and yeah, I know enough about computers that I could, I'm going to sort it by number. Because remember, all the books have a number.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got the other publishers that he's partnering with. You get those updates as well. And I think at one point what I'm going to do is kind of grab, here's all the Kirby stuff. Here's all the Wally Wood stuff.
I'll just put it in files you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's fun every so often just to grab one of them at random and read, because some of it's just so messed up and weird. And all the Plastic Man stuff from the 40s is amazing. You could, if you cleaned it up a little, you could print it now. You know, you'd get rid of the 40s colloquialisms. You'd have to kind of clean up the racism, which was a part of all pulp culture back then. Speaking of, we were watching Gilligan's Island at the group home because we've got an older client who really likes old TV shows. I did not realize how scary racist that show was. And also the first season is colorless. Well, not just that. You had the one episode with the Japanese fighter.
Yeah.
That was just Bob Denver with really thick glasses
Oh, really?
and buck
Oh.
teeth. We did see the episode that Kurt Russell's in
Oh, yeah.
as Jungle Boy.
I remember that.
But the first season was colorized, and the colorization is as bad as it was in the 80s. It
I
looks
wonder.
horrible.
I just saw that at Walmart, and it was like $30 for the whole season. I wonder if that. I didn't like the colorized season.
Ugh.
It also answered the
awful.
question, where did the minnow go? You know, because they tried to glue it together with something, and then they found out the glue won't hold. Bang, and it popped apart. Because they always show the boat. That's okay. I think the professor was just covering for everybody.
I agree. Well, we've talked about my theory that it's actually a haunting crime story about a bunch of drug runners trying to hide what they're doing from Marianne.
Yeah, I buy that too. Speaking of which, I'm going to put it on the Facebook feed. Somebody on Hogan Zero's group said, "Hey, how would you do the last episode?" I'm like, I've been thinking about this since 1980. You asked for it. I'm not going to bore you with it here, but I was actually pretty impressed with what I came up with.
No?
So the gist of it is Hogan is killed.
Hogan kills Hitler.
No, that was done. But as Bull Carter, Hochstetter, Maria, that's her name, and Gertrude are all running from the upcoming, what do you call them, Allied wave. They go to Stalag 13, and they're going to make their last stand there. Well, the prisoners obviously stop that, and there was an episode of Hogan Zeros where a general dressed down Hogan for being a traitor, for not trying to escape.
Oh, yeah.
And then Newkirk kind of says, you know, you can do what you want, but I'm already in prison. He kind of spills the beans, and then the general salutes Hogan as he's exchanged. He's the one who comes to liberate them.
Oh, okay.
Which is unusual, because a general wouldn't be, I think, that close. As they reveal everything, you know, Klink is crestfallen because he feels like an idiot. Hochstetter's enraged. Burkhalter, Hochstetter grabs Bull Carter's gun, shoots Hogan. Hogan dies in Maria's arms. And as everybody's...
It's comedy, everybody. It's comedy.
It is. But what ends up happening is Bull Carter says something to the general. Him, Hogan, Maria disappear. Years later, they have a reunion of sorts. Everybody's there, including Kinch and Baker. If you remember, he's the one who replaced. There was the episode, the whole thing starts explaining why there was a switch with those two. And they're all like, you know, celebrating, and they wish Hogan was there. And Klink is there. He did get the Palm Springs.
Yeah.
He was basically vouched for by the prisoners, wasn't charged with any war crimes. Hochstetter.
He's now living at Mar-a-Lago.
Hochstetter turned and helped him knock down the SS, so they allowed him to retire in Switzerland. Schultz got his toy factory back. He ends up, his daughter's there with a book, because Schultz wrote a book explaining all the shenanigans he observed. He did see everything, he just remembered nothing. He also explains that he was the one who shot Hochstetter back at the camp. The only shot he fired World War II when he saw him take out Hogan.
Okay. Once again, comedy. Comedy, everybody.
Oh yeah, no, this is a movie semi-serious. The comedy's in the beginning. But then a guy shows up from the military, he summons the main prisoners and Klink into a room. He explains that he's about to give them highly top secret information. Hogan lived. It was a ruse. The gun had blanks, and the reason why prisoners were allowed to live, and the SS didn't like jump down on them and wipe them all out, because you know they were always there's a ring of sabotage around this camp.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of Klink's record. It was because Nimrod was pulling the strings to keep the SS off their back.
Oh, okay.
And Nimrod arranged for Bull Carter's gun to have blanks. So when they took over, why was Bull Carter allowed to keep his firearm? He took off with Maria to battle the Soviets. And that's where he's been. And as he leaves, they're all like, somebody starts saying, wait a minute. Is that why Bo Carter was was he Nimrod? Anyways, the guy goes out to the car, jumps in the car, and says, so I delivered the message, but I still think it was wrong. And the guy in the back seat's like, no, I trust these guys with my life. They're not going to squeal. And of course, the Russian woman's like, oh, Nimrod, my darling. You're so right. I wish I could have seen my small one last time. And they drive away. But then somebody said, does that mean Hogan's with Nimrod? And I go, no, I'm implying Bull Carter was Nimrod.
Oh, okay.
And when he died, Hogan became Nimrod to fight the Soviets. There, you listen to it anyways. Sorry.
What I find interesting, Nimrod in the Bible, greatest hunter ever, because of one joke in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It's now an insult.
Is it? Oh, wow.
And it's because, he was being sarcastic.
Oh.
And calling Elmer Fudd Nimrod. And now everybody thinks it's just an insult rather than
That's funny.
the biblical reference.
What I love about the whole Hogan Zeros thing is he's only referred to in one episode ever. And it's pretty funny, too. But it's also like, everybody's like, who do you think Nimrod is? And he's like, well, I think this person. I'm convinced Bull Carter was. Because why else would he keep Clink there? Because Clink was, he had his record.
Send you to the Russian front.
But there were even times when he was, Bull Carter was enraged with Clink, and then Hogan would come in and do something, and Bull Carter would buy it. He said, there's no way. And really, again, it's a comedy, but the SS should have just come and, there's no reason why Hochstetter would have just blown Clink or Hogan away the minute he thought, what is that man doing here? I would kill him now. That's what the SS did. But it was a comedy.
That was the one line when I was trying to get into stand-up. Because a lot of what I did was news. Kind of like the weekly news update.
And I enjoyed that.
But when I tried stand-up, I had one that I would pull out all the time about Hogan's Heroes. Well, you've all seen Hogan's Heroes. It was created by Bing Crosby. I wish I would have been in the meeting when he pitched that to CBS. So, imagine, if you will, Bing Crosby takes some time away from beating his kids.
And drinking orange juice.
And
Minute Maid.
Goes to CBS and says, got this great idea for a situation comedy. It's set in a German death camp. But the Nazis are all idiots. And CBS was like, yeah, just give him the money, maybe he'll go away.
Well, that's kind of like when Aaron Spelling's kid came up with Love Boat. It's like, I'll pitch it to ABC. It worked? No, I didn't. I think that was an old Mad Magazine cartoon. Oh, if you ever want to read something really inappropriate, go look for Mad Magazine's Hogan Zero spoof.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Mort Drucker is best in that one.
That was brilliant.
Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast. I like the Barnes & Noble special Mad. They're basically the 100-pagers.
I got the bathroom reader.
But there was no issue 3. So issue 1, then issue 2. Issue 3 was actually a special Barnes & Noble version of the 70th anniversary issue. Then number 4. And they had on the cover, May, June, July. So it hadn't come out for January, February. So I sent them a Facebook message to Mad Magazine. They actually got back to me and said, oh yeah, it's now quarterly. Issues are going to be out in April. And, on like that. Well, I went and I picked it up, and I have it in my car.
Ooh.
As well as your 2 books.
Oh, cool.
Now, I looked over the DC variant cover history. They're saying that the first variant cover was Man of Steel #1 because you had a newsstand edition and a direct sales edition.
So
they do not show the Legends of the Dark Knight 4 different covers, which at that point is like, well, it's all lies.
Yeah, and I'm thinking even back because there were test covers of Fury of Firestorm and JLA.
But that was after Man of Steel.
Was it? I don't remember.
Yep. Man of Steel #1, Because the newsstand edition was a full version of Superman, and the direct sales was just the S. So if you want to ever see Superman's big red S, you want that Man of Steel #1.
It's funny because as I watch, I'm in the various groups on Facebook, and the newsstand variants are starting to become hot.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are realizing there just ain't a lot of them. Which is weird because there's also variants that are hot, and you're like, are you saying it's hot just because it's a newsstand variant? Because there's no demand for the regular book. But go figure.
I remember when nobody seems to remember this. I seem to be the only one who remembers this. Remember when the X-Men did this thing where we're going to have the X-Men comic come out on better paper, but if you want it on the newsstand regular paper, it'll come out 2 weeks later.
That rings a bell. Because I know
It's not even listed as separate in the price guide.
My shop, I asked him about that, and he wasn't buying the 2 weeks later one. And I was like, well, I'd buy it if you get it.
Well, it was when you owned the shop, because I was the only one who was buying the cheaper one.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, it's cheaper. You look in the price guide, they don't have a difference between them.
There, you guys got the next hot book. You should write that up and throw it on Facebook, man. The place will implode.
I'd have to find what issues it was, because
Yeah.
I think it was like in 93 and 94, and they stopped it when they did Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
Because Age of Apocalypse was my cutoff point. When they did Age of Apocalypse, it's like, okay, I'm tapping out. The X-Men's a mess right now. I'm not having fun reading it. And I didn't come back till Grant Morrison.
Age of Apocalypse was fun.
I have picked up the omnibus of Age of Apocalypse.
I don't
The
even know
art
if I
is
have
still
it.
hard to get through, though. Man, some of those pages are like, I don't know where I'm supposed to look next.
So, hang on a second. I'm going to my favorite Atomic Avenue. So it was X-Men?
Yep.
Just regular X-Men, not
Either,
Uncanny.
it might have been both of those.
X-Men will be easier to look
But
at.
it was in 93 and 94.
See, what screws them up is the original, we always say the Uncanny X-Men, but the original was just the X-Men way back in the first issue. It wasn't Uncanny.
Uncanny was on the cover, but not in the legal stuff.
No, it wasn't even on the cover.
Well, later on.
Just yeah, that's what throws it off, because they put X-Men. So the first series X-Men is 63 to 81, and then 93 to...
Because in 82, that's when they put Uncanny in the official title. That's why it's Thor and not the Mighty Thor.
All right. Yeah, that's another one.
Although it's weird that Hulk is the Incredible Hulk and not the Hulk for those.
All right, let me try the second X-Men. Because you're talking the Jim Lee X-Men?
Yeah,
All right.
but it was after Jim Lee had left.
Okay, so let's...
We're gonna rock down to Atomic Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Nope, I don't see anything listed. I'm in the 94. There are special covers listed, but there's no... There's deluxe editions.
Yeah, the one that came out first was the deluxe.
Oh, this must be it here. See, they're talking starting at issue 38.
Yeah,
Because you got the cover, the regular cover, and the deluxe edition. And since they came out the same month, although they're weeks apart, the deluxe edition, at least these guys have it cheaper.
which is funny because the original price was higher.
Yeah, $195 and then $150.
Well, it's because fewer people bought the $1.50 one.
So I'm going to save that, and I'm going to go look on the eBays. There, now you got the next hot collectible.
Hot comic.
Because I tell you, people that are going nuts with, like, the latest one is the American Entertainment catalogs.
Oh,
that
yeah.
had Spawn on the cover, because they predated the Spawn.
Jeez.
I know. I mean, I got to admit, I sold the Malibu Sun for silly money.
Well, and that one, what is it, that issue of Thor that had an ad for Wolverine going to be in Hulk is now worth stupid money.
Well, I sold the Amazing Heroes. That actually had the first published appearance next to the review of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1.
Yeah.
So never throw your freebies out. I know we're gonna wish we didn't throw away all those previews and advanced Marvel previews and DC collects and all that fun stuff. Pretty sure there's people saving those.
I wish Amazing Heroes had come back, but it never will.
No. Oh well. And sometimes you can find them cheap.
Well, I've got them.
I wish they'd do the.
I worked at Schindler's, so it was like, okay.
I wish, I don't know, if like Heroes Initiative or Comic Book Legal Defense Fund would do like swimsuit issues again.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you could get a lot of popular artists, upcoming artists to.
Well, and the thing I liked about the Amazing Heroes because I went back and read them like about 6 months ago. Most of the indie guys were, here's something funny of all our characters on a beach, rather than, here's boobies.
Movies. Yeah.
Of course, the best were the people who did both, like Joshua Quagmire.
Or if they just did their own characters, too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I did have one freaking... If I can probably find it, because...
I am yawning like you can't believe.
I know.
I didn't get my news nap.
Oh, I know.
And I ate 6 pancakes.
Pancakes. And hash browns, too. I got high blood sugar just watching them.
You had your own...
Yeah, but eggs and meat don't have carbs, so...
Yeah, but you had hash browns, too.
Yeah. Oh, probably never going to find it. There was a...
You have a lot of email that you haven't opened.
I just erased it. Coffin Comics had
So that's why, Joe hasn't gotten back to you.
Coffin Comics had an event with, I can't think of her name, Soren
Song.
And I was all excited to do it, and I went because they were selling signed editions and remarked editions. I got there, every remarked edition was sold, except for, like, the super expensive metallic ones. I was kind of bummed. And then they had a live thing going at their headquarters where you could have gone in and made her. I did console myself when they opened the vaults, which they do like once or twice a month. They had a version of her comic. I didn't buy the BP one, that was expensive, but I bought like one of the file copies. Because they usually, like when they have these variants, they keep like 5 or 10 as file copies to sell later. So I picked that up and I checkmarked to have her autograph it. So I'll get her autograph, if not a remark. But yeah, I mean, I was like there an hour after it started, and it was stupid because it was already sold out. So.
And we liked her stuff like 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Back when she said, oh, yeah, I'll be able to do a podcast interview with you. Let me get back to you in about a month or two. And then she just exploded.
Oh, yeah.
And then I recently asked for an interview, and she said, well, you got to talk to my agent. And it's like, oh, you've moved up.
Yeah, she has, which is very cool. She seems super nice. But even she says she's getting idiot stalkers.
Yeah.
Rob Liefeld, I don't know if you follow him. Rob Liefeld had one that was he's just bad-mouthing Rob for something that wasn't even his deal. And it's like, Rob kind of posted it, and I'm following him, but because he's at his limit for friends, I can't comment on his post. And I was going to be like, dude, you're like the most enthusiastic person in comics ever. I mean, I know there's people at the cons are like, oh, we don't want him. I said, I do. He'd be a fantastic guest. Probably expensive as heck, but, he'd be fun to have. Kind of like the same guy who talked his con out of inviting Jack Kirby to come to our con.
And I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, that was kind of...
Of course, the person who did that denies ever doing it.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I remember you saying I was a creep. Well, maybe when you saw him, but...
Well, it's like when we had a chance to get Mark Evanier and Sergio. He was like, they're not that good.
Oh, Sergio was fantastic. I remember seeing him at one of the first cons Cooper and I ever did.
Might have been some jealousy there.
Yeah, maybe. So I was going to show you some of the trouble I'm getting on eBay.
See, when I go on eBay, I'm not really looking for comics. I won something.
I'm looking for all sorts of stuff. Oops.
And of course you messed it up.
So I found out I read Bert's, so I picked up hers for $3, Lonnie Anderson.
Oh, okay.
I picked up that because I'm on a Big Bang Theory kick. How in hell's bells did I miss that? Never knew it was there. They were showing on the Trek Culture some of the outtakes that were never shown and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the trouble. Okay, that's like a $50 comic.
Yeah.
And I paged it, and then the guy's like, $6? Okay. I'll talk about it later, guys. Pick that up just because I have a bit of I don't
It's
normally
Spider-Man number 6 with a Mike Mayhew cover.
Virgin. The previous one was Ponytail number 16 by Carlton. Why that one is more expensive than the other line, I have no idea. And then back in the sign books. There's a Captain Marvel 1 signed by Amanda Connor. Here's a She-Hulk 1 signed by, how do you say that?
Ji-Hung Yi.
Yi.
Dallas, the role-playing game.
I'm giving that to someone as a gift.
I doubt she listens.
He. And then that's some of the other things. Again, it's like a $50, $70 book. The Deathless Superman Platinum. I just picked it up. Then I think I talked about this Monkeys RCA special from the 70s. During when they were doing the Monkeys in the 70s as syndicated show, they would run the ad for this. It was like an envelope with 2 Monkeys albums in it.
Oh.
And when I got it, it ranges everything from the stuff that was in the shows to stuff that was in Head to their stuff that came out afterwards, including their last charting hit, Oh My My, which was on the last album that just David and Mickey were on. So I'm like, I knew all these songs, but I never saw them in the TV show. And then as I began to realize the history of the Monkees, it's like, oh, this guy had it cheap. And he did what I do. I watched it, and then he came back and he offered me a deal on it.
No.
So if you want to go to my eBay store and watch something, I will probably cut you a deal on it. Unless it's $10 or under. Because then I can't afford to do it.
Lately, when I go back to eBay, it's like, okay, I'm going to try and find some Criterion sets for dirt cheap. I was able to get the Samurai set, which is normally a $100 set, for $38. So that makes me happy. Because the Criterion DVDs,
Oh, yeah.
well,
when they
Blu-rays
do
now,
Yeah.
they're so beautiful.
When
The
they do
Night
their
of the
sale,
Living Dead one.
Every time you send me the sales, I always look. And much as I would like to just buy them, unless I know I'm going to watch them over and over and over, I probably won't buy them.
Then you'll want the Princess Bride one. Beautiful box.
I know, I gotta wait for the rocket sale. The last one I bought was Hard Day's Night, to tell you
Yeah.
how long ago that's been.
That was a really good package, too. But the Night of the Living Dead one is so good. Now, the best DVD set I ever bought, though, was Dawn of the Dead. It had 3 versions of the movie. The theatrical version, the version that they showed at Cannes, which was then put out on video, and they called it the director's cut, and it wasn't. The theatrical version was the director's cut. Then they had the one that was recut by Fulci for Italy, which took out plot and added more gore. Each of those has commentary, different commentary. Then there's a 4th disc that has a 2-hour documentary on the movie, a documentary that was made at the time about the movie, and tons and tons and tons of extras. My favorite extra is, you've seen Dawn of the Dead, right?
Never.
Really?
No, there's a lot of, I'm not a horror guy, so I'd always avoided it. But
2 of the actors take a tour of the mall that it was filmed in.
Oh, cool.
And it's like about 10 years later. So the mall has changed and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But they do a tour of the mall telling stories about things. And they, you know how when you've got the 2 escalators and they've got the things so that people can't slide down? Mm-hmm. The movie was the reason for that.
Oh, jeez.
Because they filmed a piece where when the guys slid down, and then all of a sudden people were doing that at malls all over the place. So they said, well, yeah, we got to get... So at that mall, they've got these big metal round things that are...
And if you really want to go look at the YouTube videos of idiots who still try to slide down there and end up losing pieces of their anatomy. Not the piece you'd think.
Actually, my favorite video of an escalator lately is this cat who likes walking on the escalator. Doesn't go anywhere. But the cat just, is walking on the escalator and not going anywhere. And then, it'll get tired and sit by the side and watch people and then go back. Must be getting its exercise. I like cat videos.
I will drop down the cat videos. I did watch, like, baby laughing videos.
No.
Where they just laugh at goofy stuff. Oh.
Well, believe it or not, kids, we've been at Denny's for an hour and a half.
Yeah, and I think they're open all night, but we're
No, they're not.
They're not. Well, you're not getting any more pancakes, so we might as well go.
Yeah. So, well, we'll keep doing this for another 600 at least.
Yeah.
Maybe longer.
I got nothing going on.
We'll be doing this till after we're dead.
Hello and welcome once again for the 600th time to Crazy Comics and Stories. This is me, your charming and delightful old Uncle Rat Bastard. And we don't do big, enormous stuff for our anniversary episodes anymore because, let's face it, we've been at this for, 13 years? And we've run out of ideas. Matter of fact, we really never had any ideas. But what it was, Joe asked if I wanted to get together and have dinner with him at a place that we could record at. I hate to say it, but places like Denny's are great to record at because they don't mind if you have a recorder. And if you go to a really nice place, they're gonna give you the side eye. They're gonna give you the dirty look. Besides, if I go to La Petite Francais, are they gonna have all you can eat pancakes? I don't think so. And I like all-you-can-eat pancakes. I like pancakes. Everybody likes pancakes. So Joe and I went to Denny's for our 600th episode. So here it is, episode 600.